I've got some exciting news, and that's that I recently switched podcast hosts to Anchor. Now, if you don't know what a host is, it's what distributes your podcast, which means it becomes available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Now, the best part is it gives you all the creation tools to make your podcast. So if you need to edit it, if you need to record it, you can do that all in one place from your phone or computer. Another awesome thing is it's free. I was actually paying to host my podcast before, but now I can host it for free. And you can start making money immediately by recording an ad just like this one. You don't have to wait till you get a certain amount of listeners. Now, if you're like, that sounds awesome, I want to create my own podcast, then make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. This is the Daily Steps Towards Success podcast. I'm Kayla Celeste. If you're looking for a daily podcast to help you accomplish your dreams, you're in the right place. So let's take the daily steps towards success together. On today's podcast, we're actually going to be talking about 5 steps to prioritization. Now, what we actually want to go over first is why you should prioritize. So there's so many things that you should do, so many things that you want to do, so many things that you could do, but there's only so much that you can do. And so you want to be doing the most important things to you. Now, this is what's super powerful because the thing that's most important to you might not be the same thing that's most important to me. And so what that ends up looking like is our list, we could have the same things on the same list that we need to get done, but we're going to do them in a different order based off the priorities that we have in our life and the results that we want. Now, 20% of the task will result in 80% of the results. So what you want to do is you want to optimize your time and actually focus on the 20%. So when you're able to do this, you don't have to get everything done on the list. So let's say that you and me both have 10 items on our to-do list. They're all the same items, but like I said, we're going to do them in a different order. We're only going to want to focus on the 2 tasks that give us 80% of our results. And so what that looks like is we're not getting all 10 things done. We're focusing on 2. Now, how do we actually do this? How do we actually prioritize? What are the 5 steps to prioritization? Number 1 is define the end result and what it is you want to accomplish. So you want to figure out where you want to be. Let's say that your goal is to be healthier. Okay, now that's not super specific, so maybe we could get more specific, but let's just say that it's you want to be healthier. Now, what are the few things that you can do to actually make this happen? See, there's so many things that you can do, you should do, you might want to do. For instance, I'm going to start listing some off. You could exercise, you could take daily walks, you could drink enough water, you could eat a salad every day, you could cut down on the sugar, you could cut down on your carbs, you could eat higher fat, you could count all your calories. Like, there's so many different things that you could do, but what are the 2 things that are really going to make the difference when it comes to your health? Maybe it's drinking enough water and then eating a salad every day. That will make you feel so much healthier. And so you didn't have to do all the things to get a big jump in your health. You pick like a couple. Okay? So the second thing that you want to do is you want to brainstorm everything you could do to get this result. So that's kind of what I just did a second ago. It's where I listed out everything I could possibly think of. Now, I only went like a little bit. I could think of tons more, but like, I don't want to bore you on the podcast. So what you would end up doing then is actually taking a second and writing out as many possible things that you can think of. Like, what is every single thing that you can possibly think of that would help you be healthier? And then the third thing is evaluate the list and remove the ones that you can see aren't in the 20%. For instance, counting calories, that one's out. That one's not in the 20%. So you can kind of go through and just mark out the things like you already know that these aren't the top things that you could be doing to yield the most results. And then what you want to do is you want to put the remaining items in order. So the way that you do this is you say, if I could only do one thing to improve my health, what would it be? And then that's the first one. If I could do another thing to improve my health, what would it be? And so then you list them off like that. And then the 5th thing that you want to do after you've brainstormed everything you could do, and then after that, you've cut it down to the things that you know might be in the 20%, and then you've listed it in order of getting the most result from the task that you're doing. Then what you want to do is you want to cut the list and focus on the top 3 or the top 5. So at this point, you have a list of, let's say you have a list of 10 things, right? Well, you're going to only want to take the top 3 or the top 5, depending on where you can fit it in your schedule. Because if you're going to do 3 things for your health, well, maybe that's easy for you to do. But maybe if you're able to do 5, you would get even more results. So what I want to talk to you about is actually sitting there and going, okay, can I do these 3 things easily? And then if you can, then be like, okay, can I do these 5 things easily? And then if you can, do all 5. And so what you're going to want to do is actually look at that list and go, okay, now these are the things that I want to implement. Now, this is the same thing for your to-do list. Now, that was kind of like a goal, but let's say you've got so many things that you need to get done. So the first thing is you want to define your end result. And the end result of that could be like you want to get the most important stuff done. So then you're going to brainstorm everything that you need to do. So this would be your to-do list. And then you're going to go ahead and evaluate the list and remove the ones that you're like, you know what, this really doesn't matter if I get it done, especially if you're looking at your daily schedule. So if you have a big list of everything you could do today, but what are the things that must get done today? The things that you know are perfectly fine to wait till tomorrow or wait for a month or wait for a week, go ahead and mark those off or put them on a different list. And then what you want to do is you want to look at the remaining list and you want to list it in order of priority by saying, if I can only do one thing today, what would it be? And then you keep going down until you've listed everything off. Then what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the top 3. Today, I'm going to get these top 3 things done or these top 5 things done. And then after that, the day will be a success. Now, if I want to go through and do the other ones, if I have time, that's great. But if I get the top 5 done, then that means today was a success. So that's how you can prioritize your life, prioritize improving a certain area of your life, or prioritizing your daily to-do list. Thank you for listening to the Daily Steps Towards Success podcast. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. After all, we're in this together, one step at a time.